little to do with this wedding, I must officially thank all of you for coming tonight. Some of you come from far and wide. I don't know most of the people here, but I do know that some of Alix's friends have come a long way. For example, Laura Kerrigan, I'm not sure what her new name is, I know her as Laura. She came all the way from London, and several of Alix's friends have made the journey. And I'm sure some of you who sort of are connected to Nathan have come a very, very long way. So I thank you on behalf of my wife Sharon and our family, Sarah, Matthew holding the baby, and it is a sign of the esteem in which you hold Nathan and Alix. So a little bit of history. A rather insignificant event, or seemingly insignificant event, occurred around this time of year, April 1980. The first thing was Sharon Loughlin asked Denis Dudley to marry her. Denis Dudley said yes. And at 9:30 on April 11th, 1980, we got married. Now, that largely went unnoticed. It wasn't taken up by the CBC on the national news. It somehow missed the paparazzi and the press. But history will record that the universe and the near cosmos did record the event. There is evidence that there was increased sunspot activity and solar flares near the sun, and there were some minor tremors recorded by the U.S. Geologic Survey at the Marianas Trench, the island of Guam in the Pacific. So the world sort of went along. This insignificant event went unnoticed. Now, from this unlikely union came three very, very significant things, 3 children. And these children are very unique in their separate ways. First there was Kristen, best described as effervescent, the temperament of an artist, labile at times. And in fact, it's interesting, Kristen is the one that probably inherited my temperament. Next came Sarah. And those of you who know Sarah, she has a singular sensitivity. Sarah has the art of diplomacy. In fact, Sarah would be able to get Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton to sit down and agree about everything. I think some of you who were at Sarah's weddings will recall that I said, and I've told her this, that she's simply the finest human being I was privileged to know. She's now gone into another phase of life, and I think all of these qualities will probably make her certainly Mother of the Year, and a lot of it she inherited from her own mother. And I must pay a special compliment to my wife, who provided the nurturing. I was more there to school them in the art of politics and problem solving, but when it comes to their character, their temperament, much of it, the credit goes to the mother. Now, the family kind of rolled along for many, many years. We lived a typical suburban life that most Canadians do. We had our 3 children, perfect family. We drove some nice cars, had a swimming pool. But to be honest, when Alix was born, the minute I held that little infant child in my arms, I knew that she was something special. I mean, the others are special in their own way, but Alix is uniquely special. Now, that's not just the boast of a proud father. Most of you who know Alix knows that she is a very special person. She taught herself to play the piano by ear at age 5. She was a straight-A student all through school. She would win the prize for speaking German, for speaking Japanese, math, physics, whatever. And she started taking flying lessons at 15. So we had this really anomalous situation where I or her mother would drive her to flight school because she didn't have a license. But then we watched her take off in a plane. And she then went to McGill University, where some of her friends who'd been through school there joined her there. She went there on a named scholarship. I got a scholarship, but it was just called a bursary. Didn't have somebody's name. And she certainly did herself proud, made her parents proud all through university. Now, it turns out that this pursuit of higher academics, more skills, led her to Nathan. And it's interesting because I'm the one who took Alix to Strasbourg when she attended International Space University. And actually, there's some of you in the room that look familiar. I probably met you. But Alix brought 11 or 12 of her friends to dinner one night, and I had the immense pleasure of taking all of these young people out to dinner at a Chinese restaurant in the middle of Strasbourg. Go figure. Nathan, as I said, was conspicuously absent, and I never really met him for many, many months. As usual, mother knows first, and she kept telling me about this person. Now, she'd made some mistakes with Matt. She told me about Sarah meeting Matt at Queen's University in Kingston, but described him as a jock, whatever that means. She said Matt was 6'4", muscular, played this, played that. So when she described Nathan, I thought, uh-oh, here we go again. And ultimately I did meet Nathan. And I told her this story about his prowess with tools and so on. But as I hand the safety and security of my baby to Nathan, I hope you realize that this is the heaviest responsibility you will ever assume. Now, a little bit about the word baby. Sunny, our other daughter, gave Alix the name Baby. And those of you who saw Dirty Dancing, there was a star, one of the characters in there was called Baby. And the name sort of stuck with Alix. And it's time, as the circle of life passes, she's got to pass the title on to Ava. And although Ava is now the official baby, just need to tell Alix, and Nathan must pay special attention, Alix will always be Sharon and I's baby. Now, he knows I take security seriously, and I'm passing Alix off to you, and I'm hoping that you're going to keep her as safe and secure in the luxury she's accustomed to for the duration of your marriage.
No pressure.
Yes. Now, I must say a word about Nathan. Sarah's always said that Alix is a wannabe Sarah. In fact, many people believe they're twins. I'm not sure why. And they've actually passed off that charade from time to time. People believe they're twins, when in fact, what, 5 years apart? Yes. So it's interesting that there's several friends in here who were at the very beginning Sarah's friends, but they're now Alix's friends. And Jane, somewhere in the room here, springs to mind. Because if I remember right, you were first Sarah's friend and her roommate. The same is true of Alejandra, or Mexicali. She was Sarah's friend, but then somehow became Alix's friend. And the same thing kind of happened, you know, with pets. There was a cat that played a very prominent role in Alix's life, named Mr. Freckles. But if I recall, it was Sarah's cat, and then somehow Alix inherited him. So, most of you who know Alix, I think it's true to say, she's unique in her own way. She's very introverted in some ways, introspective, a deep thinker. And her mother used to describe one of her qualities as stubbornness. And I'll tell you a story that the mother thinks this is an example of being stubborn. seems. So every great woman has a greater man. These two, it'll remain to be seen who is the driving force in the relationship. I haven't yet decided, but I know as a couple they'll succeed, and they'll always have the support, as Nathan has said, of family and friends. Maybe I will, as time wears on, I'll teach him how to use a drill, and I'll teach him how to cut a miter and things like that. But tonight is just the beginning. Marriage is an adventure. As someone said, relationships have to evolve. And I think these two are well suited for each other. Every time Sharon, remember, I only have a flip phone, so I don't FaceTime and do things like that. But every time Sharon FaceTimes Alix, Nathan is either sitting upright or lying flat with a computer on his belly. So it is fair to call him a computer nerd. Alix, I think, is an academic nerd. And it is interesting, the children all have their different strengths. Kristen is artistic, Sarah is a diplomat. Alix has an intellect that is very intimidating. I'm no fool, most of the time. Her mother is no fool. And I happened to read, or she asked me to edit, because I do write very well, her thesis for her master's degree at McGill. And I took it to her mother and I said, do you understand anything of this? And I read it through again. And it is amazing, her grasp of things that are what I call high science. So she's intellectual, he's nerdy, and it'll be very interesting to see how the children turn out. But if history teaches us anything, we've seen the remarkable offspring that Matthew and Sarah have produced. Now, for those of you who don't know, the ethnic mix, the DNA, it's sort of similar. He has a German background, Matt has an Irish background, Sharon is Irish-Scottish, and me, I'm Indian, born in Jamaica. So there's a real good mixing of different cultures, different DNA, and if those of you who haven't seen her, feel free to pass by, have a look at Ava. Maybe wait a couple minutes. So, Sarah has laid down the gauntlet, but I'm sure Nathan and Alix will follow suit. So, just to remind Nathan that safety, security, comfort, luxury, these are all the things that a high maintenance wife needs. And I know from experience. So, if you need advice, just drop by, I'll let you know what is required. So again, in closing, it's good to see familiar faces and those faces that are new to us, but I must pay a special thank you to some of our family that have come from a long way away. Uncle Bob, sitting over there with the camera, has made one of his usually, it's sort of like an expedition, you know, he travels through the woods and he comes here and he camps. And, yada, yada, yada. You know, he made it to Sarah's wedding by driving from Vancouver all the way to Niagara. He's made it to this wedding. I see Pat and Richard. And Pat and Richard are again an example of this mixed DNA. They have two lovely children. So I'm all for mixing up the races. I think the world will be better off for it. Here, here. And I know. Oh, can you see? Can you see young Ava there? Oh yeah, look at that beauty. So we'll see what transpires. Sharon has always wanted 5 or 6 grandchildren. And Matthew wants to have a basketball team, which I think is 5 children, so we'll do. So once again, thank all of you for coming. I must thank Mr. Wong, sitting over there. I don't know if you found any maple syrup. I was particularly touched I didn't know the man. Somehow he was thoughtful enough. He had a limo meeting us at the airport. We felt very, very grateful for that, because some of you, when you arrive in San Francisco in certain terminals, it's always hard to find a cab. And he had to come, 3 separate times because things didn't go well. We all arrived at different times. I want to thank Nathan's aunt and uncle. And I know most of you are from Wisconsin. Never been up there. I know you do something with cheese or something. And then you have this strange football team that Matt and I don't like. He cheers for New England and Tom Brady. I don't actually cheer for anybody anymore because I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, and they suck. So again, thank you to all of Nathan's family, friends. I actually didn't know he had so many friends, so I'm pleased to know. And on behalf of Sharon, myself, my family, Sonny, all of us, we can only just wish them eternal happiness. Thank you again.